going to show a few examples of how to convert a graph into a vertex function form, and also we'll show then also how to take a graph and write the quadratic function in intercept form. Let's start with the vertex form, and best thing to do is write down the base form here. It's y equals ax minus h, that's quantity squared, plus k. And if you recall, the h and the k are the actual vertex. So these values are h and k. So I'll label them so they're easy to put right into the formula. You'll see a point on the graph, and it's nice to have one that has a nice whole number. In this case, we have 1, -1. So that's 1 and -1. Let me insert those for x and y. Again, it could be any point on here. And then we're solving for a. And a, I call it the slope. It's not really a slope, but it dictates whether the parabola is wider with a fraction or narrower and steeper with a higher number. So you just plug those four numbers in, solve for the a, and put the a back into the equation so you get the actual equation, the function in vertex form. So here goes. Y is -1. Again, a is what we're trying to find. X is 1. Now it's minus the h. The h is -1, so it's a double negative, so it's going to be +1, and that quantity is squared. And then the k is a -3. You're going to just add the k on. In this case, you're adding a negative, so it's -3. So it's -1 equals, this quantity is 2 squared is 4, so it's 4a minus 3. You add 3 to both sides, and you're going to have 4a equals 2, a equals 1/2. Now that's not the answer. Again, you have to plug the a back into the equation. So your final answer, running in the function in vertex form, will be y equals this 1/2, and then it's x plus this 1, double negative, minus the -1, or just +1 squared minus the k, minus 3. That is the function in vertex form. Pretty simple. Let's try one in intercept form. Again, for intercept form, you don't have a vertex, but you have a point, a random point on here. It gets nice to have some nice whole numbers, integers. And here's the x-intercepts. And they go into this form. Again, it's intercept form, sorry. It's y equals a x minus p. That's one of the intercepts. X minus q. That's the other intercept. The interesting thing about this one is it has 2 x's. So when you're putting these values in, you have 2 x's. All right, labeling things. This is x and y. There's just some random point again on the parabola. Here's my p, and here's my q. I'll put that into the equation, solve for a, then put everything except for the y and the 2 x's back in for the final answer for the function in intercept form. So y is -4. This equals a. Now here's x. It's 1. It's minus -3, so it's going to be a +3, times the 1 minus the q, so it's -3. And we're solving again for a. So we have -4 equals a. This becomes a 4. This becomes a, what is it, -2? Together we have -4 equals -8a. Divide by -8. Again, we have a equals 1/2. But not the answer. That a goes back into the equation with the p and the q. So the final real answer for the quadratic function in intercept form is y equals 1/2 x minus the -3 or +3 times x minus the other 3. And that is the answer. All right, good luck.